Tonight on All Systems Go, we have the holiday spirit.
And the hope that we'll make it out in one piece. All Systems Go starts right now. Hello and welcome to All Systems Go, the only show that's really nailed this nerd thing. I'm Jenica, just too tired.
And I'm Nick Nocturnal. Let's jump right into it.
Everyone get ready because we're heading back into the Upside Down a lot sooner than expected. There have been some major updates for Stranger Things Season 4 that came straight from Netflix's Stranger Things Day celebration this past weekend. The streaming service released a new teaser showing Eleven at her new school in California while anticipating her reunion with Mike. Unfortunately, there is little peace for these characters, and the trailer shows just that, with guns blazing and several explosions. The update also revealed that the season will be 9 episodes long and will premiere in the summer of 2022.
The JoJo Part 6 anime now has an official release date, December 1st. It was revealed at the end of the newest Stone Ocean trailer that came out earlier this week. Stone Ocean, being the name of JoJo Part 6, refers to the Florida prison where main protagonist Jolene is attempting to escape from being wrongly imprisoned after her lover mysteriously dies. We also got confirmation that the season's episodes will release in batches, the first of which being 12 episodes, and like I said, it's coming to Netflix December 1st.
Who doesn't like stabbing their friends in the back? I know I do, and Among Us just gave us a more interesting way to do it. Among Us is getting some of its biggest updates yet, one inspired by the popular mod Town of Us. That's right, crewmates are basically getting superpowers, like being able to tell who's dead, being able to sneak through the same vents as imposters, and shielding crewmates from their death, along with other abilities. Inner Sloth is also adding achievements and paid cosmetics, as well as releasing the game on PlayStation and Xbox on December 14th.
Big news for the VFX world. Unity, the public access engine used in games and movies, just acquired VFX studio Weta Digital for $1.625 billion. You might not know Weta by name, but you might have heard some of the movies they've worked on, such as Avengers Endgame, Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes, Avatar, the Blue People one, Game of Thrones, the list goes on. Unity's acquisition of Weta makes the Hollywood-level VFX tools they use available to the public. According to Unity, they want people to use Weta's tools to make content for the metaverse. Yes, the Zuckerberg one.
The live-action One Piece Netflix series has cast its 5 core characters. Inaka Godoy, Makenyu, Emily Rudd, Jacob Romero-Gibson, and Taz Skylar will all star in the series as members of the Straw Hat Pirates. Our AP Tony would prefer the actor who plays Sanji to have longer hair, but he approves of the casting overall. One Piece follows the story of Luffy, a young man who embarks on a journey to become king of the pirates and find the celebrated One Piece treasure.
The new Christmas comedy 8-Bit will hold a special place in gamers' hearts this holiday season. Neil Patrick Harris, acclaimed gamer, stars as a father telling his daughter about a Christmas when he was 11 years old in the late 80s. Harris's character wanted a Nintendo 8-Bit more than anything for Christmas that year, but his parents didn't want the system in their house. So, a young Harris and his friends schemed their way into a competition to win the iconic but fictional 8-Bit for themselves. This soon-to-be Christmas classic will be available to stream on HBO Max this November 24th.
Up next, we have 2 of our favorite things, food and Tony.
All Systems Go. We'll be right back.
I gotta tell Michaela.
What? Oh my gosh!
That you would not believe. What?
Oh, the blurb's on at 9 on Tuesdays.
Because our producer Ian won't let Sophia talk about Christmas yet, she's decided to talk about the best Thanksgiving foods. Let's take a look.
Great, I'm glad. Me personally, I am sick and tired of doing top 10 videos for this show with my own opinions, even though they are correct. So, this week I decided to do some scientific experimentation and use others' opinions for my own benefit. I created a Google form and asked a bunch of college kids to rank their favorite Thanksgiving food from a pre-selected group of food that encompasses the traditional feast. The food in question is turkey, mashed potatoes, green beans, cranberry sauce, stuffing, sweet potatoes, pumpkin pie, corn, dinner rolls, and mac and cheese. You know, I would have talked about Christmas music this week, but Ian said no, and you know what? That's okay. I'll survive. It's a different conversation for another day, and I'm actually really excited to share these results because in my first semester of college alone, we've talked about Thanksgiving dinner more than I think I ever did in high school. It's clearly on all of our minds, so without further ado, let's see what results I got. Coming in 10th place is sweet potatoes. This is valid based on what I've heard, but I'm personally not thrilled about it. 9th place was cranberry sauce, which I actually agree with. 8th place goes to green beans, which I also agree with, so good work, guys. Coming in 7th place is corn, and corn is pretty basic compared to everything else on the menu, so I think this is fair. 6th place is a big upset because it's turkey. Turkey is considered the star of the show, so I am really surprised it ranks so low. 5th place is pumpkin pie. As one of the only sweet dishes entered, I am pleasantly surprised at the fact that it didn't get left in the dust. 4th place went to one of my all-stars on Thanksgiving, mashed potatoes. 3rd place is dinner rolls, which people tend to overlook, but those things are chef's kiss. A runner-up is mac and cheese, and this shocked me because I personally never have it at Thanksgiving, but I guess enough people do to place it this high. And our winner, the best food to serve at Thanksgiving dinner, is the stuffing. Stuffing is my personal favorite, so I'm very pleased that most people agreed with me on that one. I am also very pleased that turkey was not ranked number 1 because turkey is unanimously not the best thing to serve. And with that, my experiment comes to a close. I actually really like this new format because I didn't have to do a ton of the work, and it was really nice hearing my friends' opinions, so I might do this again. See you next time with whatever I choose.
It's Tony time, everybody. Get ready for a thrilling interview between the Greek freak himself and tech YouTuber G-Tech.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Tony interview. It's been a while since we did one of these. I'm here with YouTuber tech extraordinaire G-Tech, aka one of my great friends, George Moramis. Welcome, George.
Dude, that's
welcome
me.
on the show.
Tony, thank
How
you
you
so
doing?
much. I'm doing real good. How are you doing, Tony?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to have you here. As a tech YouTuber who's kind of just been on the rise lately, starting out, how'd you get your start? Like, what inspired you to actually, start doing YouTube in the first place?
That's a very good question, Tony. Basically, like a lot of you guys, when I was little, I was pretty heavily involved in video games and just video gaming in general. What got me into like tech and all that good stuff was actually Minecraft back in like 2012, I would say, 'cause yeah, that's when I got it. And the one thing I noticed was playing it on my, dinky little email machine desktop computer, which was a piece of garbage. It played Minecraft very poorly. And so I'm like, maybe this computer's broken. I'm going to download it on my family laptop. So I put Minecraft on our family laptop and it ran better. So basically the big thing that got me interested in tech was like, why? Why does my family's laptop run Minecraft better than my desktop? So, over the next several months, really, basically I was just kind of looking around and I realized, hey, you can build your own computer. Basically, I was just kind of like, I wanted a computer that could play games and I wanted to build it myself. But I wanted to learn what makes a computer good at a specific task, running games, doing professional work. And in the process, over the next couple years, I basically just kind of did a ton of research on my own. I was watching videos all the time on, what all these individual components do, how to build your own computer, how to piece parts together so that they're, evenly balanced, not one thing outweighs the other. Just a lot of that stuff, really.
Now, of all your videos that you have made so far, what have been maybe like one or like two of your favorites that you have put out on your channel that you're like really proud of, or just like how they turned out?
Oh, that's such a good question. Some of my top contenders for favorite videos would have to be probably my Beat Saber video, which is currently my most viewed video, solely for the fact that it took off and didn't really pertain to like the tech aspect of my channel. It just kind of took off as like an offhand thing. It's an outlier video, but I just love that it's taken off. And I have a lot of little kids in the comments that are like, he didn't play the hardest Beat Saber title. And I'm like, kids, shut up. This video's like 3 years old. And it was my first time playing Beat Saber. I just kind of wanted to flail my arms to the point where it like hurt to wake up the next day. And I'm like, everything hurts. I made a video building a computer for about $900. And it has like a relatively powerful graphics card in it. And the reason I like that video so much is because I got a stupid good deal on that card. And that's because the newest generation of cards were coming out with promised performance super exceeding past last generation. So everyone started panic selling their old stuff from the last generation. But because I got that like $700 card for like $390, put it in a system, and then sold that system for such a good profit, also to a good friend of mine. It's one of my buddies that I worked at Sam's Club with. It was like, that was one of my favorite videos to make because it also kind of started my, you know, just kind of general series of building computers, showing them off on my channel, and then making a video about it, or, you know, building a computer, making a video of it, showing it off. You get the idea. The advice that I give to everybody wanting to start a YouTube channel is just start. Like, that's the one thing I've noticed is the hardest thing to do. And it's what a lot of tech or just YouTubers in general always say to their audiences.
So for the people out there who are interested, where can they find your stuff and watch you at, George?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. My channel is called GTech, and the link would be youtube.com/C for channel /GTech official. And then on Twitter, I'm just at GTechGeorge. I'm pretty active on both platforms pretty much, so it's like, if you have any interest in, you know, building your own custom gaming computer, or maybe you just have a question about what parts you want to upgrade, or any recommendations that I have based on a game you want to play and a system that you want to buy, feel free to hit me up on either of those platforms.
Go away, because up next, Olivia is going to get into the most controversial discussion topic yet. Celebrating the holiday season before Thanksgiving. We'll be right back.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back, everyone. This week we're diving deep into one of the most pressing issues of our time, Thanksgiving erasure. While some feel as though Thanksgiving isn't getting the time it deserves, others feel like the Christmas season can't come early enough. Here to decide once and for all, we've got our cast members. Alrighty, now I want to start with everyone who thinks that Thanksgiving is being a little bit overlooked, a little bit overshadowed. What are your guys' opinions on that? And who all of you actually is in that camp? Raise your hands, if you would.
I personally believe that we need to appreciate fall a little more. Like, everyone wants to jump straight into winter. No, give fall the time it deserves. We've got plenty of time for Christmas and winter time. Let's just, like, you know, sit in the vibes.
Christmas is it's great, and we celebrate it for like a full month. So already that's like way more than usual, and so I feel like the more you celebrate Christmas, like the longer it lasts, the less special it is. There's something nice with scarcity.
Very interesting points. Are you in the other camp, Alexa? You said maybe-ish?
I am, so I kind of still celebrate Halloween a little bit. I still have my Halloween decorations up, but I've also started listening to Christmas songs, so I'm in this like weird in-between area. But I'm not super into Thanksgiving, so I don't think that it's not like getting the love that it deserves.
That's fair. You heard it here first, folks. Alexa not into Thanksgiving, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Doesn't believe in it.
But yeah, no, that's a totally fair assessment. Now we have, I think you all could guess. I would venture to take a stab at the position that our friend Sophia.
We know. I love Christmas. Okay, it is my favorite holiday. However, I am not the one that's baking Christmas cookies, hanging up the decorations on the Christmas tree, looking at Christmas lights, yada yada yada. Okay. What I do between November 1st and Thanksgiving is I just listen to Christmas music and I break out my fuzzy socks. See them? Fuzzy socks. Now, just because I do that does not mean I don't like Thanksgiving. I go ham with Thanksgiving. I just made a video about it. We all saw it.
Ham?
Ham? All right, listen.
Ham's a Christmas
Listen here. Just because I listen to Christmas music now does not mean I hate Thanksgiving. And that does not mean I'm ready to dive into winter. Winter is my least favorite season of all. I just appreciate the vibes of Christmas.
Okay. So, I think that's all. Alrighty. Okay. So, other than that though, anyone else have like any more things? I can go into my opinion if you want. I think I have a set date for when I think Christmas music should be permitted to be listened to by law, and that is a few days after Thanksgiving. I think you need a buffer period. Personally, not right then, not immediately after. I think it needs to happen like a couple days in between, just a couple. I feel like, what do you mean?
November 1st.
November 1st?
November 1st.
Alrighty, so
it's not.
Part of the aesthetic is like the snow and stuff. Like if you're in like California or like Texas or whatever, like sucks to suck, I guess.
You
Ohio,
can
we have,
listen
like,
to Christmas
snow
music
and stuff
without
like
the
that.
snow. As long as it's cold
It's
outside.
the aesthetic is a combination of cool things. You can't like pick and choose.
But it's also not cold enough yet.
Oh, it is.
Not for me.
It is to me, Jenica. It is to me.
I'm still in Halloween mode, guys.
I had to wear a coat.
I think we should celebrate Halloween year-round. It's always the spooky season for me, baby.
No.
In your guys' opinion, do you think like the whole craze to like get to buying things sooner and sooner each year kind of contributes to the whole Christmas being earlier thing?
No.
What's your
I think probably.
Because I don't buy gifts till last minute.
I think Black Friday is a hilariously ironic holiday because it's the day after the one day, like the dedicated. Black Friday is all about like going out and like buying a bunch of stuff and being cavemen in like Best Buy and beating up other like
Ooga
40-year-old
booga,
women.
I want an Xbox.
Exactly,
Kind of thing.
or like a flat screen because for some reason like every year people like break their flat screens and they need a new one or whatever. But like it's so funny because it comes the day after the like dedicated holiday for being thankful. It's in the name. It's really funny to me.
Yeah, no, that seems pretty. Yeah, that seems pretty contradictory right there. What about here? Let me think. I was gonna ask, what about Cyber Monday? What are our feelings on that too? I feel like that is just. I feel like that's
different story completely. Cyber Monday, awesome.
No, I don't like the beating people up in Best Buy and smashing flat screens.
But that's what you're endorsing, isn't it?
No,
that's what you're advocating for.
I'm endorsing the positive Christmas spirit of baking cookies and watching the snow fall.
You don't get to pick and choose, Sophia.
Yeah.
I don't deal with commercialism, okay? I deal with vibes.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
So enjoy the fall vibes while they're here. Is all I'm saying. Fall is the best season in my personal opinion. It's not for everyone. However, I think fall is just like the perfect season. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's got Halloween. You can wear jackets, like starting getting into the cold weather stuff, but not yet.
Alrighty. That's a very fair point. So real quickly though, how do you guys like to celebrate Thanksgiving?
I like to sit with my family and eat food. And, being away from my family is great. But it's even better to be with them for holidays.
Being away from my family is great. Quote, Sophia. We'll just
You know
send that
what,
to you.
Olivia? I'm under a lot of pressure here. I'm the only one on my camp.
Alrighty, that's really good for all of our takes, all of our hot, thought out the press's opinions. Coming up after the break, Nick and I have a review of the Dune movie. All systems go. We'll be right back. Do not go anywhere.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
I recently saw Dune in theaters, the correct way, by the way, and so did Olivia. But unlike me, she did not read the book beforehand, and we made a joint review about it. Here it comes.
Welcome to the ASG Dune review. I have somebody who has read the book.
I'm someone who has not read a single book in my entire life.
Even the Bible?
No.
Let's get into it. As somebody who's read the book, I found the film did a really good job at accurately representing the source material. Director Denis Villeneuve clearly has a deep understanding of the book and all of its themes, which is probably why the movie felt like such a faithful adaptation. The story translated really well and matched the tone of the book, and it really just felt like the characters were the same from the novel. I'm honestly really impressed how good a translation this was, because I found the book at times to be really weird or cryptic, but to my surprise, the movie did a great job at being weird and cryptic.
Going in blind, I honestly didn't know what to expect. It was kind of intimidating, to be honest, after hearing so much about how confusing the plot was supposed to be, how long the book was, and how dissatisfied a good number of people seemed to be with the film as a whole. To be fair, this is a really different sci-fi movie from your normal run-of-the-mill, shoot 'em up, show off some flashy technology and fly away in a spaceship kind of movie. There's a lot of political stuff in it, but I like the political stuff, so that wasn't really an issue for me. I was also super impressed by the movie's ability to fit in as much detail as possible, even with such a hefty amount of source material to work with. That being said, my main critique of the film, which is kind of reoccurring throughout the review and in all parts, is actually the lack of context around the world building and relationships between characters. With a movie so long, that's kind of surprising, but it is Dune we're talking about.
Being a very introspective and slow burn type movie, Dune has the tricky issue of getting new people to care about it, and a way they worked around that was with the star-studded cast. From Oscar Isaac to Josh Brolin to everyone's favorite Timmy C, Villeneuve knew exactly what he was doing. But they aren't just there to put butts in seats. It's some really solid acting, and honestly, I felt like they were really good interpretations of the book characters. People might bash Timothée Chalamet for a flat or boring performance, but that's like an accurate portrayal of Paul as a character. He's a very introspective and quiet person, which Timmy reflects really well. But he also does have his emotional moments, which are like my favorite parts of the film. Also, Jason Momoa turns any role he touches into gold, so shout out.
I couldn't agree more. The casting of this movie is phenomenal, and the acting is top-notch. A lot of the dynamics between characters were incredibly well done, especially the one between Paul and his mother, Lady Jessica. I do wish some of them were a little bit better fleshed out, like the relationship between Duncan and Paul. I can't speak to the book counterparts of these characters, but experiencing them for the first time was enjoyable nonetheless.
Interpreting a book, Villeneuve could have taken the film's art style in a lot of directions, and we have seen in the past they haven't been great. This was not the case with Villeneuve's Dune. The film is incredibly beautiful to look at with distinct set pieces and creative costuming. The whole art style follows this theme of like minimalism, which not only looks cool, but it feels at place with the minimal descriptions given in the book.
I thought that the movie looked really cool. It managed to keep its own stylistic identity in the face of the average person's expectations of what a sci-fi movie will look like. I really liked the stark contrast between the traditional style of the Fremen, the harsh look of the Harkonnen, and the sleek look of the Atreides. The sets were very cool and really put into perspective how large this world really is. There's a lot of hype around the score, composed by the legendary Hans Zimmer.
But was it like that good?
It is very good. I had a couple critiques about this movie that I really want to address. My main critique of it, which, ironically, because it's such a long movie, was actually the lack of context. They were really obviously struggling to fit every single bit of detail into 2.5 hours, which kudos to them for doing a pretty good job. But they still managed to miss a few things that hopefully they address in the later movies. Literally, there are so many questions that I had, and the movie really created more questions than answers. It's still a good watch, and I'm excited to see how at least some of those are answered in the second movie. The fact that it's coming out in 2023 is the biggest tragedy of it all.
Unlike Olivia, I can enjoy things, and I really liked the minimalism. The book itself is pretty minimalist with a lot of these questions too, and honestly, most of these questions aren't even answered in the book because they don't need to be. It's a very character-driven narrative, and it only supplies you with the bare minimum to suspend your disbelief. In 2 hours, they barely fit in the story beats for like a quarter of the story, so trying to also explain away a bunch of lore stuff that ultimately doesn't really affect the plot in any significant way is kind of unnecessary, in my opinion. I think my biggest real issue with the movie, which is just inherent in a part 1, is it's a fraction of a story. It isn't a full, complete narrative. Once all the parts come out and it's like one giant, like 7-hour movie, I'm pretty hyped. I think it's gonna be great. I like Dune a lot. I read the book last year and I really liked it, and now that I've seen the movie, I like it even more. It's definitely on the slow side for some people, but just because it's slow doesn't mean it's not compelling. It's very compelling, it's very good, and I'm very excited for part 2.
Dune is a fantastic movie, but I can definitely see why it doesn't appeal to certain tastes. My advice is that you go to the theater yourself and get your own opinion on this, because I will guarantee for you, at least in my book, that you won't be disappointed. If I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it probably like a 7.5, 8.
I would give Dune an 8.5. It's kind of impossible to give an incomplete narrative a 10 out of 10, but for everything it tries to do, I think it accomplishes it all perfectly.
That's it for this week. Be sure to come back next week at 9 for your weekly dose of all things ASG.
And make sure to check out our social media accounts to stay updated. I'm Jenica Jenick.
And I'm Nick Thaman. Also some SCO, signing off.
Merry Christmas.
No, what?
No.
Merry Christmas.
Not yet.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.